Hello and welcome to Using EdTech Tools to Teach the Tech Savvy. My name is Nicole Taylor and I am an instructional content specialist here with ICV. Our students know so much when it comes to technology that I thought I would share a few things with you to really bring in a few tech pieces to engage the learners and also to help you. As a teacher, the tools that I'm going to share with you will also give you real-time data so that you'll know what students know during your lesson. You don't have to wait until the end of class to take up their work in order to see if they're with you or if they understood. So these will also give you real-time data to help you connect with students and to differentiate your lessons. So we will jump right in. And the first tool that I want to look at with you is Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard is a free Google tool. It is collaborative, it's interactive. It's like an online whiteboard where you and your students can jump on together and you can collaborate, you can work together. It's super fun. And I'm just going to show you how it works so that you can see just how fun it is to use Jamboard. I love this because, again, it works on if you are using an iPad, you can use it on iPad, but any device that can get on the internet can get on Jamboard. So I'm just going to go to my Jamboard dashboard. And so you can get there by jamboard.google.com. And so you guys can see I use it quite a bit. I'm just going to start a blank or a new jam. So if I come all the way over to the right corner and I click on new jam, it's going to give me a blank whiteboard. And so when I get this blank whiteboard, you can see that it allows me to make a title. And I'm going to just name this sample ICEV jam. I can also come right here at the top and I can see that I can change my background. So I can go with dots, lines, I have grids, also have a couple colors. And if I have an image, I can upload an image, or I could search Google Drive, do a Google image search. It gives me lots of different options there. I can also see up here, this lets me know at the very top in the middle, if I click this caret at the bottom, I'm going to expand the frame bar and it will let me see how many frames I have. I can click the plus to add frames. And so that may come in handy if you want to add frames and have students grab a frame if you want to assign frames. So I'm going to come over to the left and you guys will see this is where the menu is and this is where the magic happens. So this would be similar to like your whiteboard in your classroom space, except everyone's on their own device and we can all get on the Jamboard at one time. So the first option here is a pen. And so I can click on pen. And if I click there, I can see it gives me several options. I have a pen, a marker, a highlighter, and a brush. And I can also select my color. So I'm just going to select pen, blue, and I can actually write on here as well. If I go down, I have an eraser. I also have a pointer. If I want to select anything, then I can do that as well. The sticky notes. Sticky notes allow students to leave their answers or share with you what they're thinking. So I could put on here, perhaps I want to ask kids, hey, today we're going to study about cybersecurity. Tell me everything you know about cybersecurity before I start the lesson. And then kids could go and they could actually do a brain dump about cybersecurity. I know it maybe that's what they know. I know it keeps us safe online. And they can keep adding and adding and adding. Maybe you set a 2-minute timer and allow them to add. Students also have the ability to add images. I'm just going to do a Google image search since we were talking about cybersecurity. I'll do an image search. When to insert that, maybe a student wants to add an image. I can also add a circle, and a square, a triangle. It gives me several shapes here. The arrow would be great for maybe if I were creating, I could actually use the arrow and some sticky notes. To create a graphic organizer if I wanted to do that as well. I'm just going to click on these three dots and delete the arrow as well. But there are so many different things that students can do right here on Jamboard. Again, with the app version, there's an app version, there's an online version. You get lots of features. If you're using the app version, it also comes with assistive drawing. So let's say you draw a squiggly circle, it's Google's AI version, and it will just kind of pick up and clean those up for you. So the next tool that we are going to look at is Pear Deck. Everything here I'm going to say, that's my favorite, but Pear Deck is a great tool because it allows you to take any presentation and make that presentation interactive. So you know exactly what every single student is doing and what they know. It allows kids to also give you their answers so that only you can see them as well. So students have privacy in order to receive differentiation and support as well. It also allows every single student to participate in their learning anywhere from their own device. So one great thing about Pear Deck is that, and the same thing with the tool I showed you before, Google Jamboard, is that we can do this in class with students, or students can do it on their own. I can totally assign it for students to do on their own. So this is what Pear Deck allows you to do. This is a teacher view, and so you can see that the question posed was, what path do you think that the sailor would have taken around the world? And so I can actually see each one of these little boxes. I can see Caitlin and Henry and Bailey. I can see each student's individual response. I can see all of their individual answers. And so that allows me, again, to differentiate my instruction. So maybe all of the kids have it, and so I can move along, but maybe I have a couple of kids who don't get it. I can pull them to the side or give them support. So I'm able to see that on the teacher end. You can also just start with your current presentation, with your current ICEV lesson, and you can add Pear Deck. This is actually featured in our ICEV EdTech blog series. There is a post about Pear Deck, and so a few ideas to get you started and to get you thinking about how you can use Pear Deck. So as you can see, when you open this, when you add Pear Deck to your PowerPoint presentation, your ICEV lesson, you'll see that on the right side, there's a menu. And so that menu gives you several different options to pull in pre-made questions, to pull in ready-made slides into your presentation to ask kids things that you want to ask them. So one idea, maybe at the beginning of each class, you can set a 2-minute, at the beginning of your lesson, you could set a 2-minute timer and ask students to draw or type 3 things they already know about the topic being covered. When it stops, select a few kids and let them respond. And then at the end of class, allow the kids to go back and check in on their learning. Another way is you can use Pear Deck to introduce lessons is, let's say that we were doing a lesson again on cybersecurity. I could just ask students to tell me what they wonder about the lesson. Like, what do you wonder? What do you want to know? And I can use that to gauge, maybe even throw in some things to really keep students' attention. At the end of your lesson, you can also allow students to connect what they learned with their own lives. Students could draw something they found interesting during the lesson. They could also take time to relate the content to their own lives. They could label their sketches. If there's time, then you can also allow them to share with their peers. But with that teacher side that I showed you here, I can also click on the individual students and I can share out their work as well. Another great resource is Canva. I don't know if you've already used Canva, but Canva is totally free for educators. Canva is chopped full of lots of templates for you to use with your students. Here are a few examples. Maybe students create their own presentations. There are templates on Canva for that. Perhaps you have students doing mock interviews. They could go on and create a Zoom background for their fake company. They can create flyers. Maybe they're doing some type of event. They need to create flyers for a fictitious event, or maybe flyers to market a company or something like that. Social media graphics, resume templates. So we actually have connecting to careers lessons around STEM. And so perhaps after a student watches a lesson, they go and they create a resume based off of what they've learned. There are worksheets, there's infographics. Most of all, this is totally free. And so you simply go to canva.com. There's a way to log in as an educator. And once you log in, you can actually search for free templates, and you can take that template and you can share that with your students. These are great extension activities in order to really connect with students and to pull them in to the lesson. Another great tool to connect with our tech-savvy students is text messages. So not the text messages using your phone. You don't have to give kids your number, but kids can actually create fake text messages using ifaketextmessage.com. So this is great. Kids are always texting, always texting. And you can see that I created a fake text message that would have been sent between students. Let's say that a student missed class. And so it says, hey, you missed a great STEM lesson today. We learned about becoming chemists because they were watching the Connecting to STEM Careers lessons. Really, what do they do? And so the student can then go on to tell what they do and how you become a chemist, and maybe what you can actually, how you can actually work in the field, and your your opportunities to work once you actually get your degree. So students can create fun text messages. You can create a fun text message to introduce new content. You can have your students share conversations between each other, and this actually gives them an opportunity to kind of brain dump, to kind of rethink through the lesson, and to use the new key terms and the new vocabulary that they've learned. It's a great lesson starter, but it's also a great assessment tool. So perhaps I'm telling kids that I need to have at least 3 facts in your text message. And so then they could actually do that text message. And I just took a snippet or a screenshot, and they could actually turn that into you. You can't go wrong with text messages because students love to text. The next thing that I want to share with you is Mentimeter. And so Mentimeter is a great tool that allows you to create polls, quizzes. You can do competitions, word clouds, lots of different things, Q&A, interactive assessments, lots of ways to use Mentimeter. And what I love about Mentimeter is that you can use it. Let's say that you want to teach a little, and then you can poll students. Or you could even pull in the questions from your ICEV material, maybe your check for understanding, and you can use that as a quiz, or you could use that as a Q&A as well. So I'm going to show you what Mentimeter looks like online. And when you log in, you can actually use this. It is a great free tool as well. And so you'll simply go to Mentimeter.com, and you can click on New Presentation. I'm just going to title this one Sample ICEV Presentation. Once you click Create Presentation, you'll see on the right side that it gives you different question types. So I could actually pose a multiple choice question. And so if I click on multiple choice question, I'm going to type the question. What is ransomware? And then I could give the students different options. I can also add a picture if I needed to add a picture as well. Let's say that doesn't work. I can choose word cloud, open-ended. And see, as I take my mouse and I go over these, you can kind of see what it looks like once students put their responses in there. I wanted to show you a few ICEV examples. And so here is an example of an open-ended question. And so I would simply ask students, what did you learn about cybersecurity? Was my question. And you can see that I have 3 responses there. I can actually take this and I can share it out to students. I could give them a QR code, a voting link. I could give them a code, but that code it expires in 2 days. Or I could simply do this live with students in class. And I can see that I have 3 students on here as well. So this is one type of presentation. I can also show you the quiz. And so you can see, here's the quiz. What is ransomware? I put my questions in. So this is great to just get answers from students during the class period, or you could use it at the end of the class period as well to just see what students learned. Word cloud is also something that I really like. And so you can see what is cybersecurity. There are some words that have been put on our word cloud. And so with the word cloud, the words that are used the most, you'll see that they are bigger and they're more prominent on the word cloud. So hopefully you were able to see at least one tool that you can use as you really dig into using EdTech tools to teach your tech-savvy students. Thank you again for joining me today. Please remember that you will get credit for attending today's session. At the end of the conference, watch your email and look to receive your points and your ICEV badges. Thank you again.